The TWA Hotel at JFK International Airport in New York is the former site of the TWA Flight Center, designed by Eero Saarinen of Dallas Airport fame. It is a mid-century masterpiece that takes you back to 1962, the year it opened, with many of its original amenities repurposed for today's traveler. The TWA Hotel can be accessed from Terminal 5 baggage claim, where a red vestibule marked the elevator. The doors open to a mock-up of Howard Hughes' office, Hughes being responsible for making TWA the iconic brand that it was. You'll walk down the first of the iconic tunnels, past one of the newly built hotel wings, and straight to the main lobby. But don't get lost in nostalgia just yet. First, you'll need to check in via staff or at one of the kiosks. By and large, you'll follow the on-screen instructions. Enter your information, scan a key card, and you're good to go. If you know airports, you think that the head house of the TWA Flight Center looks a lot like Dulles in Virginia, which was designed by Saarinen and also opened in 1962. But the exterior is believed to also be based on Jorn Utsen's winning design for the Sydney Opera House in a competition that Saarinen judged. TWA used this facility until their closure in 2001. Opened in 2019 as the only hotel on JFK grounds, the TWA Hotel has street access and parking just like any other establishment. But you're also met with all sorts of vintage cars. You'll walk into the head house, where the check-in, the Saarinen Hotel wing, and T5 access tunnel on your left, and a food hall, the Hughes Hotel wing, and the second red tunnel on your right. There's a surprise at the end of that one that we'll take a look at later. The shell of the head house is still intact from its days as a passenger terminal, with a massive catwalk overlooking the Sunken Lounge. The catwalk is flanked by the hella cozy Ambassadors Club on the left, and the Paris Café and Lisbon Lounge on the right. That's the main dining area. Beyond the litany of things to see and do in this massive landmark, the rooftop is definitely the main draw. This, as well as my room, are in the Hughes Hotel wing, and the elevators are controlled by your key card. The TWA Hotel has 512 rooms with various price points. Though on the smaller side, my Deluxe King with the Runway View had the exact mid-century furnishings I like, with a first-class view of T4 and T5, as well as parallel runways 422. The windows are said to be the second thickest in the world, and they do a great job of blocking out noise. They also have blackout shades. From here, I can even see the A220 I flew in on, and I likely saw my room while on board. I had glassware, a refrigerator, a safe, standard and wireless charging, and even a walk-in shower. Right now, I desperately want to jump in that massive bed and watch TV or scroll the internet on the free Wi-Fi, but I have work to do. Like I've said, the rooftop is easily the main draw at the hotel. It hosts a heated infinity pool, not only with views of the airfield, but also the AirTrain if you're a rail fan, and the Manhattan skyline off in the distance. There's no lifeguard on duty, and towels are available. The pool itself is flanked by two spaces that are great for plane spotting, and present is the rooftop bar, fully enclosed, with many beverages and meals to choose from. Back in the head house, you'll hear the clicking and the clacking of the two Solari split flap displays on each face of the building. This grand hallway hosts the scale model of the original terminal, complete with the many aircraft types used by TWA in the jet age. You'll see thematic rooms including a beauty parlor inspired by Sweet and Low, and a twister room where you can contort yourself as much as your heart desires. Opposite that is a souvenir shop with a boatload of books, branded clothing, housewares, models, and more, with a fitting room. Between the exhibits and the store are a bank of payphones, which are a beautiful surprise for me, as well as a shoe sign stand, restrooms, and a photo booth. But as the sky darkens and the flight crews of the world check in, it's time to eat. If booking a dinner reservation, which is heavily encouraged, you're given 3 seating options. The Paris Café is the actual restaurant and main dining hall, and it also includes bar seating over the open kitchen. The Lisbon Lounge, however, is the more stylized area with the colorful seating just past the windows. Focaccia is offered before your meal, with butter sauce and a choice of water. While I can't have bread, cry for me, it was so good. The Paris Café had quite a nice selection. After browsing the menu of appetizers, sides, pizzas, entrees, and desserts, as well as their beer, wine, and cocktail offerings, I chose the seared salmon with spring peas, ginger scallion, and sweet butter mashed potatoes, which were all cooked to perfection. To note, the food hall downstairs also offers its own assortment of grab-and-go meals from the TWA Corner Store, open 24/7, plus pizza, bagels, soft serve, crepes, hot dogs, and coffee, with table seating to enjoy it. And it's right on cue. Upstairs opposite the Paris Café is the former site of the London Club Bar, now home to a collection of vintage TWA flight uniforms from over the decades, with designs from Ole Cassini, Balmain, and even Valentino. Further ahead, looking out to the Saarinen wing of the hotel, is TWA's former airline lounge, the Ambassadors Club. It consists of a smaller nook, as well as the Pope's Room, honoring the first papal visit to the United States back in 1965. The main section of the lounge is a familiar aesthetic, growing up in mid-century style homes with ornate mirrors and lighting fixtures that give the room more depth. Be clear, this hotel has so many nooks and crannies. Tucked away is an elevator that will take you down to the hallway that leads back to the check-in. Another hidden away elevator near the Paris Café takes you down to TWA Fitness, which also connects from the Hughes Tunnel. This gym is huge. At a staggering 10,000 square feet, the fitness center has all the treadmills, ellipticals, free weights, and machines you can stand, with a yoga studio in the back, and a room filled with Peloton bikes. Towels are available near the entrance. Back upstairs, the TWA Hotel offers a litany of places to drink, including the Paris Café and the Lisbon Lounge, as well as the Sunken Lounge in the main hall. But who wouldn't want a drink inside of a vintage airliner? The Lockheed Constellation, or Connie, became a transcontinental workhorse for TWA, measuring 116 feet or 35 meters long and 23 feet or 7 meters high, with a wingspan of 150 feet or 46 meters wide. This 1958 model was transported from Maine, where it now stands on the TWA ramp as their cocktail lounge right next to the curling rink. This aircraft has 2 entrances, one of them ADA accessible, where you'll take in the cockpit And the classic, warm, decked out interior. We talking first class seats, curtains over the windows, and bench seats, all leading you to, whoop! Bar closed at 10:30. So maybe I got a little carried away and lost track of time. But there's just that much here. From outside, I found my way to the event spaces, which are also reachable from the elevators in the hotel towers. The TWA Hotel hosts a staggering 45 meeting rooms, totaling 50,000 square feet, named after hairdos, dances, and pop culture icons from the 1960s. Upstairs hosts 5 boardrooms, while downstairs hosts the massive Constellation Ballroom. You'll also find 5 hospitality suites designed by Eero Saarinen, including a bar with various uniforms, meal displays, and other artifacts from TWA's history. It was easy to get lost in the building. Not literally, since it's all interconnected, but creatively. Mid-century is my actual style. So Eero Saarinen serves as a personal inspiration. Back in the main hall, the Hughes Tunnel, or the end of it, takes you inside the mind of the architectural legend. Eero Saarinen was born in Finland in 1910 and died in 1961, 1 year before both Dulles and this facility opened. And his largest design, the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, predates both of these. A timeline of his work, as well as a Time magazine feature, overlook a mock-up of his office, complete with a draft of what will become this very building. A design model is just around the way. And across from that, beyond the various facts and figures from 62 years ago, is a 1962 living room, complete with your average furnishings, music records, housewares, and toys from that point in time. Surrounded by all things old-fashioned, and needing a pause from my own creativity, I tried again for that drink, this time in the Sunken Lounge, ordering an aerodynamics. The Sunken Lounge is an entire mood, and sort of the keystone of the TWA Hotel. This was also where the crowds watched the Beatles arrive in the United States in 1965. This massive chili pepper red seating area is flanked by pods, where the bartenders are dressed as pilots. And while I would have enjoyed a drink inside the aircraft, I think I needed the space. This is a busy hotel. After all, it's a landmark and a major attraction at one of the world's busiest airports. But staying here ain't cheap, as an overnight stay can go well into the hundreds, just for the cheapest rooms. But it felt 1,000% worth it just for the experience. And while the entire head house and Connie are open to the general public, the hotel offers day tripper room reservations between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, plus accommodations for guests and non-guests including parking, fitness classes, event spaces, and access to the rooftop pool and bar, all of which can be found at twahotel.com or by calling 212-806-9000 or emailing info@twahotel.com, where you may have access to special rates if you're an airline employee. This is when I finally retire to my room, take a hot shower, and hop into that nice, warm bed, and think about where I want to go next.